app, and now on Odyssey.
This program is furnished by amp2tv.square.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to the Better Hair, Better You show with Dr. Sierra, where the Robotic Hair Institute in Fort Lauderdale, Florida is a premier robotic hair restoration clinic. Dr. Sierra treats men and women of all ages who long to return to the days when they had copious amounts of hair. From implants to toupees to various chemical applications, men and women are eager to embrace a variety of treatments that promise to restore hair to its youthful volume and abundance. This show will discuss the latest procedures and technology for hair restoration. We specialize in providing the latest no-scar, robotic view hair restoration surgery. And thanks to advances in medical science and technology, we also offer non-surgical procedures and medical protocols combined with proprietary topical compounds to help augment and solidify results. Get ready to call in at 888-565-1470 and join the conversation of this amazing procedure. Let's start improving our lives.
Hello, happy Monday, and welcome back to another episode of Better Hair, Better You. I'm your host for tonight, Alana Shearer, your South Florida arts advocate and media host. Whether you're listening to us from 95.3 and 96.9, 1470, or catching our live stream, we appreciate you tuning in. Sitting alongside me today is none other than Dr. Rafael Sierra with the Sierra Robotic Hair Institute. Hello, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well.
Doing well. Counting down the days till the holiday season. It's getting closer.
That's right.
Humidity has gone away. We're starting to sometimes have some
cold.
cool weather. A little rainy today, actually.
Yeah.
But as a reminder, before we get into things, if you have any questions or would like to call in during the show, you can reach us by calling at 888-565-1470. Again, the number to call in is 888-565-1470. So for anyone who is tuning in for the very first time, maybe catching our show, give a little bit of an insight about what you do at the Sierra Robotic Hair Institute.
So we specialize in hair transplant and hair restoration. More specifically, FUE, follicular unit extraction, using the ARTIS robot. And basically what we try to do is achieve hair restoration for people that have been losing their hair for a long time, or they're just starting to notice that there's some hair loss, and try to reestablish that youthful, plentiful hair.
And now to clarify, this isn't just once every couple of months type of a deal. This is a one and done treatment to have hair that will continue to grow throughout the rest of your life.
That's correct. Yeah. This will, after this procedure, the hair will grow for the rest of your life.
And truly helping not only with your self-image, but your confidence. We know that it's a pretty transformative experience. Last episode, we had the pleasure of having a call in from someone who received this treatment from you a few months back, and they testified how happy they were with the after effects and how it was looking and all the positive reactions from their family and friends and coworkers from it too,
it's really amazing. It's really amazing after people have this treatment done, and how they sometimes come back and they tell me, you know what, I mean, after I did this, I didn't realize people are just complimenting me, and it does make a big difference.
I mean, after all, the show is called Better Hair, Better You. And if you're interested in making a better version of yourself, giving that boost to your confidence, or looking for maybe that holiday present when you don't know what to ask for this year, this might be something to add to your wish list this season.
Yeah.
So for people who are wondering where you are located, Dr. Sierra is located at 2151 East Commercial Boulevard in Suite 204, located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Nice, sunny Fort Lauderdale. But you don't just see people from the South Florida area. Anyone is welcome to come in to receive this treatment as well, correct?
Yes, and I've had patients from other states, and we can always accommodate a virtual consult, and if they're coming down for something else and they want to come visit us, we're open to that as well.
Which is pretty fantastic that anyone can come in. So I have some more questions from people who have watched our shows. Are you ready for
ready.
this week's new questions coming in? So let's start off with this one over here. We have Bobby from New Jersey who wants to know if you have to shave your head before the procedure, and if so, why? Now, we've talked about the FUE procedure that you do. So maybe
Right.
let's reevaluate how that works and how you take the hair for this procedure.
So answering the question, there is two options. One, and we always have to shave the area that we're going to harvest the hair from. Some people prefer not to shave the area that we're going to do the transplant into. And that is possible. It just makes the procedure a little more challenging, sometimes takes a little longer, but it's definitely possible. So, and going back, what we do is we remove hair follicles from one part of the scalp, which is usually the back and part of the sides, and we remove those hair follicles and we put them where we are trying to regain some of the density or fix the hairline or something like that.
And now I have to ask, we were talking before this show, it might be a little bit of a silly question, but others might find some humor in this as well. For this procedure, we are talking about hair restoration on the top of your head. But is this something that you can maybe help someone with their beard, their facial hair? Could you take or harvest from other places?
So for the harvesting portion, it's not recommended to take from other places, but it is possible to do a transplant into, let's say, the face. Some people that want to have a fuller beard, sometimes, especially female patients that had done a lot of plucking in their eyebrows, that they end up with basically no eyebrows in the future, then that is also possible to do an hair transplant to create new eyebrows.
And just to clarify, it has to be from the person receiving the treatment. So it's not like your sister or cousin or good friend could help you out.
Your cousin to give you some hair.
Oh, darn. So where is that point of no return as far as receiving the procedure or not? When someone walks in for a consultation, how much or how little hair do they have to have on their head to receive this kind of help?
So there we can look back into the Norwood classification of hair loss. Usually patients that get into a Norwood 7, which is basically when there is no more hair in the entire top of the head and only just a rim of hair around, that is something that it's really not no. It's not possible to regain any more I guess hair in that situation.
It makes things a little more difficult.
Yes, yeah.
And just to reiterate, the type of procedure you're doing, you're using the latest technology while you're doing this. So it's not that you're making the decision to, you're working with state-of-the-art equipment and robots, essentially.
Correct. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your background doing robotic surgery throughout the past 15 or so years in training.
Yeah, so I've been doing robotic surgery for a long time. I consider it a long time. More than 15 years. I did research before I did my residency. I did research with the Da Vinci robot. I did, during my residency, I did some work with the robot and some of the first surgeries with general surgery and endocrine surgery. And then throughout my practice, I always stayed with trying to stay up with the latest technology. I've been doing robotic surgery for that long, and then eventually I thought it was a good idea to apply those skills to hair transplant. So now I use the ARTIS robot, which basically enhances a technique that was already being used, but with this system, what we can improve is the quality of the grafts that we obtain, and therefore the final result of the transplant.
So I have a live question right now coming in from Federico. He wants to know, does the quality of hair matter? I guess the thickness or thinness, the type of hair that someone has on their head, does that also affect that consultation for whether or not they could receive this type of procedure?
For sure, yeah. I mean, somebody that has very thick hair in the donor area is going to be a much better, or it's going to be easier to achieve a good result because it has better coverage. When we get one follicle that has 3 thick hairs, has better coverage than if it's 3 thin hairs. So it does make a difference. A lot of times just means that somebody with thinner hair might need more grafts to cover the same area.
And because this is your hair that is being treated during this procedure, a few months down the line, when your hair is starting to grow out, the texture and the type and the color of your hair is going to match the rest of your head. It
That's
is
right.
your hair fully.
It's your hair. You can dye it. You can style it any way you want. You can let it grow. You can use a ponytail. You can do pretty much whatever you want to do.
Which is fantastic to hear. Now, before we cut to a commercial, let me throw you one more question. Larry from Kansas City is wanting to know, can you stay awake during the transplant process, or is this something that you're under full anesthesia to get the procedure done?
No, actually, people would just give us light sedation. So people are, sometimes they fall asleep, sometimes not. People can choose not to take the sedative if that's what they want to do. We encourage people to do it because it is a long procedure. But it's not general anesthetic. People wake up, and then if they need to take a break, we take a break. So the anesthesia part of it is local anesthesia. And that's just injected locally in the area that we're treating.
So besides being a little careful after the surgery the next day and taking care of your head and your hair, you can return to normal activity
Yes.
afterwards, or probably
Yeah.
not the same day. It's a
Not
long
the same day,
procedure,
but
but the
yeah.
next couple of days.
Right. It usually takes about 3-4 days for people to, and I always tell my patients, just maybe if it's possible, just plan to have maybe a week of just taking it easy at home, so you don't risk getting exposed to dirt or too much sunlight, or even some kind of accident where people get hit on the head where they just had the procedure, and that's
So
not good.
contain your excitement just a little bit longer. Let your hair grow in a little bit fully to return back to your rigorous activities. Now, don't go too far away. We will be coming back. We're going to take a quick commercial break. This is Better Hair, Better You. Stay tuned.
At Sierra Robotic Hair Institute, most patients notice incredible hair growth within a few months after their procedure. New hair growth may continue over the course of a year, with the most noticeable results usually seen 12 months after the procedure has been performed. The new hair growth can provide patients with natural, thicker hair and fuller results. Men and women who undergo our post-surgical hair restoration protocols often experience dramatic and significant improvement in hair density and volume that helps augment procedure results. Sierra Robotic Hair Institute has performed numerous hair restoration procedures, all with excellent success. If you have an interest in the latest, next-generation hair restoration and would like to learn more, please give us a call at 954-776-0830. Again, that's 954-776-0830.
Hello, and welcome back to Better Hair, Better You. I'm Alana Shearer, your host for today, sitting alongside Dr. Rafael Sierra of the Sierra Robotic Hair Institute located in the Fort Lauderdale area. As a reminder, if you want to call into the show for any live questions, you can reach us at 888-565-1470. Now, I have some more questions. Let's talk a little bit about your facility located off of Commercial Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. What does it look like inside? Explain to me what the vibe is inside the robotic institute.
Sure. Yeah, and we could do something in there too one of these days. But basically, what we're trying to do in my office is to give an environment that almost feel like a home. So it's a relaxing. We try to make it welcoming, warmer than what you would think of a medical office. We have a balcony with some outdoor seating. We have a little room with a fireplace if you want to chill there. And we try to keep everything very private. So we try not to have more than one patient at a time because we know that this is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. So we try to make it as private as possible. And also when we do one procedure, that patient is usually and most of the time the only patient that we have that day in the office. So we basically close the entire office for that procedure, and myself and my team are just 100% dedicated to that patient.
So if you are looking for a private, comforting, hospitable place to come and discuss either a consultation or if this procedure is right for you, this is definitely the place to come and contact. Now, speaking of contact, if someone does want to find out more information, can you give everybody what your phone number and
Sure.
contact is?
954-776-0830.
And if they're hesitant to call and maybe just want to search you on the web, they can find your website as well.
Yes, and they can sign up for if they want us to call them and make an appointment. And the website is sierrarobotic.com.
Perfect. And your hours of operations, when I know you are a very, very busy surgeon, when are you usually around the office? When is your facility open?
So we're open from 9 to 5. And if for some reason I'm not available or it's after hours, we always have somebody that will call. Obviously not at 2 in the morning, but if it's, let's say, before 10 p.m., we'll try to call back as soon as possible.
Which is nice to know that they're there and we'll work around to make it work.
And for my patients, I'm always available after the procedure, and even if they are already booked and they have more questions, I try to make myself available at any time just to answer any questions, any concerns. I know that it's a surgery at the end of the day, and people get nervous, and I'm there just for that.
Which makes people feel even more comfortable. So Holly from Boca wants to know, after the transplant, would her hair turn gray?
Well, unfortunately, yes, and that will happen. Yeah, like I said before, it's your hair, and the lapse of time that happens, it will match the rest of your hair. So
you can work wonders, but not necessarily those kind of magical.
Not that.
Now, let's talk a little bit about balding in general. We've talked about healthy hair care in general.
Mm-hmm.
I have Darrell from Las Vegas who says he is in his late 50s and was told his baldness is strictly coming from his aging. Is this true? And if so, how would you advise people to help with the balding process, or maybe some hair care tips for people wondering out there?
Sure. I wouldn't say that it's because of aging. It's with aging, there is more exposure to the hormone that we've mentioned before, DHT, that affects the hair follicles. So with time, yes, those hair follicles start shrinking and then eventually disappearing. That's when we lose the hair. But it's not aging itself. It's the action of the hormone that causes the hair loss. And in order to prevent or slow down this process, there's different options. We've also mentioned before, minoxidil, finasteride. Those are two medications that have proven to work. And there's other techniques or options, the low-intensity laser and PRP, platelet-rich plasma, that can help to slow down that process. Unfortunately, nothing that we can do in that sense will stop completely hair loss.
And we've also discussed that it's still important to keep healthy habits even after the procedure, so that you can keep that new healthy hair healthy in the long
Exactly,
run
yeah.
too. Now, I also want to touch on that you do think that what you do is the latest hair procedure on the market. I mean, the FUE system, the fact that you're using robotics with you in your facility, it shows that this is what is the most accurate technique.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on the horizon that you feel is
Well,
coming on in the field?
there's a lot of things that are in the lab. Like even doing micro development of multi how you call it, uh, multi-potential cell, like stem cell kind of thing that you could put into a little um, I guess frame that will create a hair follicle from scratch, things like that. But other than that, right now, really the only thing that we have to effectively treat hair loss is hair transplant, and within hair transplant, the Artus robotic system is the latest.
Now, does your robotic system have a name? Does your robot have a name in your office?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Maybe we can ask somebody to come up with some
I
names.
was curious. I had to see if there was any funny employees around. Now, as far as people making the decision to go about this, do you offer payment plans as well? Because sometimes people are a little hesitant. It's something that they want. They're not sure if they can afford a procedure
Sure.
like this.
We do offer payment plans, and we offer through different partners, and usually there's a certain amount of months without interest, and then if you require more than that, there's an interest that is built up depending on everybody's credit history. But there is definitely payment options.
And for people who are visual learners like myself, or who are interested in seeing maybe some before and after pictures or effects of what this does for people, can I find those anywhere, or can I
Yeah.
see those during a consultation or on
Well, we
your
have
website?
some in the on our website. We're currently on rebuilding our website, and we're about to get those up there. We have some on Instagram, and when you come to our office, we have multiple pictures that you can look at.
So if you want to see firsthand the difference it makes and shows, you can see the results.
Yeah.
Now, how long does it usually take to see full results? You said it sometimes varies depending on the person.
Yeah, it usually takes about a year, 9 months to a year, and that's usually about 90% of the final result at that length.
And
yeah.
initially, the growth of the hair right after the procedure, will it grow at the same pace as your normal hair would?
Yes. So initially, those follicles will kind of go to sleep, and after 4 or 5 months, it will start growing again, and from there on, it just grows like at the same pace as the rest of the hair.
Like new. But in the meantime, they're sleeping. It
They're
takes a little
sleeping.
while to
Yeah,
get them set and going.
exactly.
And right after the surgery, we talk about just safe care
Mm-hmm.
right after, staying away from the sun a little bit,
sun,
rigorous hairstyles, correct? That's what you would want to stay away from initially.
Yeah, basically anything that would put any pressure or friction on those hair follicles, and it takes about 10 days for them to really fix their roots. Let's put it that way, in their new place.
And to remind everyone, before we close out the show for today, Sierra Robotic Hair Institute, you want to give out your website and phone number one more time?
Sure. The phone number is 954-776-0830, and our website is sierrarobotic.com.
And if you're looking for their location or would like to swing on by, they are located at 2151 East Commercial Boulevard in Suite 204. You can come say hi to Dr. Rafael Sierra. He's located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He is an expert in the field, really giving people the confidence to be themselves, with better hair, better you,
That's
truly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking for the holiday season of something to find for that special someone or
It's a great
yourself,
gift.
it is a great gift. It's something to put in the calendar. Start the new year off on the right foot with some new hair. Very natural.
Mm-hmm.
It is your hair, and all your friends, family, and coworkers will be talking about it.
Yeah, will. They definitely will.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being on tonight. And we will have to tune in next week for another episode of Better Hair, Better You. I'm Alana Shear. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Good night.
You have been listening to the Better Hair, Better You show with Dr. Sierra. Dr. Sierra has shared valuable inspiration and information to help restore hair growth and confidence. If you want more information, call Dr. Sierra at 954-776-0830 or visit his website at sierrarobotic.com. And tune in again next week for another valuable life